Good morning. My name's David Green, part of the Twin Cam Racing Development, and I just wanted to do a little bit of an introduction and sort of give an idea of sort of what's happening in the garage, what I'm working on at the moment, because it's been some time since I've done the last videos of the 4AG 20 valve. I think it's somewhere in the region of maybe 8 years ago. So yeah, just to give a proper introduction for anybody who's subscribing or obviously sees the videos at a later date. So as I say, my name's David Green. Twin Cam Racing Development is just a name. It's not a brand, it's not a business. I don't sell anything, certainly not at the moment anyway. So as I say, it's just a name that I came up with. So what's happened in the last 8 years? Well, as you can see, I'm still alive, so that's good. I've got married. Got married to a wonderful woman, Julie. Absolutely fantastic lady. Makes me very happy, and obviously has contributed and allowed me to have a garage and a car in it. So, Julie, if you ever watch this video or you follow, love you loads. Right then, moving on. Obviously, families developed, and sold the 20 valve 4AG Escort on, and for a period of time didn't have any projects, just sort of got on with life. Marriage, bigger family, buying a house sort of gets in the way, just day-to-day stuff, nothing spectacular. Gone on a few nice holidays and stuff like that, and just enjoyed life. And here we are. So this is my garage. This is where I try and do my work when I can, when I get time. Obviously time permitting, like everybody. It's certainly not a regular occurrence in the garage, but when I can get a few hours, I come in here and work away and see if we can get this car up and running. So what I'm working with at this moment in time, so the current project and the last one is this Mark 1 Escort 2-door 1100L in poor condition, as you can see. Suffered from the typical 1970s, 1980s MOT style repairs. Really, this car should have been scrapped, but for the love, people of obviously previous owners have kept the vehicle on. At this moment in time, it's looking quite sorry for itself, but it does make a really good shelf in in the garage. So there's a few bits on there. So 2-door Mark 1 Escort in red. Now, my hero is my dad. My dad is still alive. He's still well and active and all the rest of it. And when I was a child, the first car that I can remember is a red Mark 1 Escort that my dad had. Like I say, my dad's my hero. Man of few words, but his actions and what he stood for and what he'd done all his talking for him. And when I was a kid, I absolutely loved his Mark 1. And I always said, when I grow up, I'm going to own a Mark 1 Escort just like my dad's. So on eBay 2014, and I see this red Mark 1 Escort being advertised. I put in a little cheeky bid, thinking, nah, I'm not going to win it, and then did. And then I had to go and tell the wife, or my girlfriend at the time, but my wife now. She was not impressed. However, she rolled with it and supported me, and here we are. The car lived in a mate's garage for 3 years. A very good mate of mine, Neil. And yeah, he looked after the car for 3 years in his garage, bless him. And that allowed me to sort of fix up the house, build this garage, and then bring the car home finally. So that's the story with the car. Like I say, in poor condition. The repairs are just not great, but it is what it is, and it's my job to sort of put the car right. And I've made a promise to my daughter that I will have the car up and running and in pristine condition for her prom, and I'm not gonna back down on that or back out of that promise that I've made to her. So that's what's gonna happen. Okay. Current sort of engine that we're working with is this Ford Zetec. It's the ST170 version, and I've mated it to an RX8 Mazda gearbox. 6-speed. The plan is to use the hydraulic clutch setup because it's self-adjusting, and once you've got it set up right, it should make for a really light, sort of modern clutch feel, and you don't really have to. It's pretty much maintenance free. I don't like the idea of cables anyway, so that's what I'm working on. So as it stands, all I've done is just mated up to the engine using this adapter plate, and it's just doing some checks to see if the hydraulic setup will work correctly. Now, as it stands, I've got a Zetec 1800 flywheel, and if you look, there's a tiny little bit of movement in this release bearing. Unfortunately though, you can't actually see in here, but the release bearing is actually touching the clutch fingers, and I do believe that it needs to be away from the clutch fingers, maybe just by a couple of mil. Otherwise, that release bearing is spinning at engine speed, even obviously at neutral, which, speaking to other people, it makes a very nasty sound, and that's not what we want. Also as well, I fitted up this retro Ford exhaust, which is what I'm going to be using, 4x2x1 system, and I've just done a few modifications to the bell housing, just so that this clears properly and there's no issues. Yeah, so it's we're using Neil Dunn Zetec mount, a Neil Dunn sump. It's had a Dan ST Engineering inlet manifold, and we'll be using these to go on there. So should be nice, should sound very nice and go pretty well. Looking for a fast road setup, so it doesn't need to be sort of 300 brake, just something nice, reliable. With a 6-speed gearbox, should be able to cruise along, and yeah, just have some fun. And yeah, this is sort of what's going on in my garage. The next video, probably what I'll do is I'll probably work with sort of discussing what I've done with this. As I say, it looks like we've got an issue at this moment in time, but I do have a solution, so I'll be documenting that. And I'll probably just run through, if you are thinking about fitting up one of these RX8 gearboxes, and it does take a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it. If you're thinking about putting it on the back of a Zetec or Pinto, Crossflow, whatever, then if I can obviously give you guys some hints and tips, then yeah, that's what we'll do. So yeah, this is my introduction. Like I say, we'll do some more videos of sort of what's happening, what I'm working on, and yeah, hopefully we can work out some tips. If there's anything that you guys want to contribute, obviously put it in the comments, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever. You know, all comments are welcome. And yeah, hopefully see you guys soon. Thank you.